Slugging percentage. Who are the top 5 baseball players between 1871 and 2025 leading the league in slugging percentage? I wrote a book, Yearly Leaders of Every Batting Category, and in Chapter 9 of this book, I explore all the baseball players who led the league in slugging for a particular decade. This video, the 1880s. Ken Arzon here, talking baseball. I'm looking at Friday, May 29th, 2026. 1880, George Gore. Some of these names you haven't heard of. I haven't heard of them. Some are in the Hall of Fame, and some are just obscure names in baseball history. George Gore, 463 slugging percentage. Roger Connor, he's Hall of Fame, 459. Abner Darrell Nipple, 458. Harry Stovey, 453. Jim O'Rourke, Hall of Fame, 441. 1881, Dan Brothers, Hall of Fame, 541 slugging percentage. Camp Anson, 510, Hall of Fame. Jack Rowe, 480. Charlie Bennett, 478. Fred Dunlap, 444. 1882, Dan Brothers, second time, 547 slugging. Roger Connor, 530, second time for him. Pete Browning, 510. Jim Whitney, 510. Cap Hansen, second time for him, 500 slugging. 1883, Dan Brothers, third year in a row, 572. John Morrell, 525. Roger Connor, 506. Harry Stovey, 506. Ezra Sutton, 485. 1884 season, top 5 slugging percentage. Fred Dunlap, 621. Dan Brothers, fourth year in a row, 563. Ed Williamson, 554. John Riley, 551. Harry Stovey again. Got him a couple times, 3 times. 545. 1885 season. Dan Brothers for the 6th year in a row, 543. Dan Orr, 543. Pete Browning, 530. Harry Larkin, 525. Roger Connor, 494. 1886, guess who? Dan Brothers for the 7th year in a row makes the top 5. 581 slugging. Cap Hansen, 544. Roger Connor, 540. Roger Connor's a lot. How many times did Roger Connor make the top 5? His name's been coming up a lot in slugging. 9 times he made the top 5. How about Dan Brothers? 10 times for him overall. So Roger Connor, 1886, 540. King Kelly, 534. Dave Oregon, 527. 1887 season. Tip O'Neill, 690. Sam Thompson, first time for him. He's Hall of Fame, 565. And for the 8th time in this decade, Dan Brothers, 562. Bob Carruthers, 547. Pete Browning, 510. 1888 season. Jimmy Ryan, 515. John Riley, 501. Cap Hansen, 499. Roger Connor, 480. King Kelly, 480. No, Dan Brothers didn't make the top 5. So Dan has 8 seasons so far in the 1880s. 1889 season, Roger Connor, 528. Harry Stovey again, 525. Jimmy Ryan, 516. Guess who? Dan Brothers, the 9th time in this decade, he makes the top 5. 507. Bug Holiday, 497. So for the 1880s, give it to Dan Brothers. 9 seasons out of 10. Top 5 slugging percentage. Roger Connor, 7 times in this decade. Top 5. Some other notables, Dave Orr, a couple. Let's see, Harry Stovey, a couple. Camp Hansen, a couple. Give the decade of the 1880s as far as slugging percentage to Dan Brothers, Hall of Fame. That guy was a slugger. All right, we're done 1880s. Next video, the 1890s. Notice that in the 1870s and 80s, slugging percentage is around 400, 500. A couple guys break 6. One guy so far has the record of the highest slugging. That was Levi Merrill, had a 700, but it was only in about 50, 60 games. The more games you play, I think the slugging percentage comes down if you're not producing. So Tip O'Neill had a 690. So those are the highs so far. Let's see what happens in the 1890s. Let's see if anyone can break 700 in slugging percentage. Who will be the first guy to do that? I'll look at it next. I'm out.